Hi students, so today we will be discussing about human age pyramids, okay. So when we talk about human age pyramids, it's important to understand the human lifespan. We divide the human lifespan into three main categories, which include the juvenile phase, which is non-reproductive, then the reproductive phase, and then the senescence or senile phase, which is again non-reproductive. Okay. So now, given that we live in 2025, we will assign the age of 25 to 45 to the reproductive zone. Okay. Anything below 25 will not consider it juvenile, but will consider it non-reproductive. Above 45, again the population essentially becomes non-reproductive because we may attain menopause, correct? So now, for any population to rise, we know there are two factors. One is natality, which is birth rate. The other is mortality, which is death rate. So very straightforward thinking would be, if mortality is low and natality is high, more birth rate, low death rate, correct? That should be an ideal population. The more the people in the reproductive age in this generation will contribute to more individuals in the next generation. So therefore, for a population that needs to grow, it needs to have a high birth rate, a low death rate, a high life expectancy, so that people born don't die easily, and more people in the reproductive zone. Okay, keeping these four things in mind, we will move on to look at the four age pyramids that we have. Age pyramids are basically the distribution of people, males and females. So this is the, let's say, the male side, and this is the female side, on one structure. So this is one whole pyramid that I have drawn. Actually, each pyramid is subdivided into age-wise distribution. So let's say this is 15 years. So this is 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. Then 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35, like that. Right? So you count the number of individuals in each age category. It's like a census, and you plot it across. When you plot it, you tend to have these kind of curves. Okay? Now the first kind of curve that we have is this, which is a towering curve, which is known as the early expanding curve. In this, as you can see, juveniles or below reproductive people are quite high, which means that the birth rate is high. However, it is also observable that as you move up every step of the way, the number of individuals keep declining. So more people live for 0 to 5 years than they live for 20 to 25 years, which means that there is a lower life expectancy in this population. So this population, even though it will expand, because in the next 10 years, these group of people will come up to here and will start reproducing, right? And they will keep it like this. However, as long as the expectancy, life expectancy of the population is not improved, the population is not going to stabilize itself. There is always going to be very little number of old people, very little number of reproductive people, and a lot of youngsters. Yeah. Moving on to an expanding population. Now if you look at this, you will see that yes, they have more individuals in the juvenile or non-reproductive underage section, but their reproductive zone is also quite heavy, right? So they have high natality, but they also have better life expectancy. And here the mortality is low, right? So this population, you can expect that in the next generation it's going to grow further, because they will give birth to more babies, so they will contribute to this section, and this section will move up to here and will keep contributing to this section. So all of these people are going to go up there, and these people are going to have babies who will contribute to this section. So this population is not declining, it's going to only expand from here. The population number, number of people in this population is only going to go up from here, correct? This is what India's curve looks like, triangular. Yeah. Now coming to a stable population. Stable, if you look at it, it's a bell-shaped population. No, when it's a bell-shaped curve, that means there are equal number of individuals in both non-reproductive and reproductive zones, that is this zone and this zone, which means it has a low mortality, not much of death rate, high life expectancy, right? It has high birth rate, that is high natality, and it has the maximum number of reproductive people. So this is a stable population, a population which will maintain its numbers and keep on maintaining until there is a cataclysmic event. This is called a stable population. However, there is a problem with low mortality also. If low mortality is associated with low natality, when can it happen? It can happen when this population has not enough reproductive people, or it has a low life expectancy. In that case, if there is low natality followed with low mortality, then what will happen? Gradually there will be less people in the pre-reproductive zone, right? So in the pre-reproductive zone, if you have less people in the pre-reproductive zone, what it signifies is that within the next 10-20 years, this population is going to become non-reproductive, right? They will contribute to these babies, but they will become non-reproductive, and a smaller amount of people will go to become reproductive, and therefore in every generation the number of the total birth rate is only going to decline, because less number of people will give birth to less number of children, correct? So that's your declining population. That's the population that is in Japan right now. It is in a declining state where, because they have such high life expectancy, people live up to very old ages, but they don't have enough young people to contribute to the population reproductively, right? So I hope these 4 curves were clear to you. I'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.